Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today Innovation Coffee. The episode today is called Innovation Coffee Robots on Air. Really exciting. Robert, Carl, welcome. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I actually had a question about that. Robots on air. Is this robots on air, like, we're broadcasting robots, or is this flying robots?
Well, I guess should we tell people now, or should we say we'll see?
We'll see.
I guess it was a bit of a pun, so I think it kind of worked. I mean, it worked with you at least, Robert.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this one. Yeah, thanks for having me, Alessandro.
Cool. No, it's exciting to have you guys with me and be together on this. But it's also exciting because we've got two robot experts in the house. So shall we invite them in?
Yes, please.
So we've got Raffaello and hi Raffaello.
I can't tell if that's real or like a digital thing. That's awesome.
Raffaello, it has to go like that on its own.
You've got it. You need a lowering system that just plops it on your head. Yeah, there you go.
What are you speaking about?
Welcome to the show, Raffaello.
How are you?
Again. Hello.
How are you?
Good. It's exciting to have you again. I think you joined on the second show that we had, and then now you're back.
Yes, finally I'm back from the other side. Not only watching and joke from the chat.
Awesome. But today we also have someone else with us. We're fortunate enough to have another robot expert, Alessio Morale. I'll invite him here. Hey, Alessio.
Hi. I'm invited to the strict milk rule.
Cheers.
Hello, man.
Yeah, this is how we cheers here. You got to kind of like
you gotta do it with everyone.
down to you, Alessio, over there. Over to you, Carl. Clink, clink. There you go. Good. At least we all have our coffee, so that's
Yes, for me, really Italian. Coffee with coffee.
Welcome, Alessio. Welcome to the show. It's your first time, so I'm really excited to have you together with Raffaello today. Welcome. And
thank you.
I guess
very nice to be here.
Yeah. Should we start with? Let's start with you. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Okay. Well, I started basically. I always worked as a software engineer mainly, and something around 2010, I discovered a very interesting topic that is drone. Well, there is actually a reason why I started doing that. It's mostly because I was working mostly on enterprise application and stuff like that. So things that you don't actually use yourself. So it was really interesting to be able to work on this kind of things and having something that you can, let's say, code and change and do a lot of things and have a direct. Let's say you can directly see what are your the result of your work, and you can really play with that. The other interesting thing is that it's something that interests a lot of topics, including physics, electronic, computer science, and a lot of different topics. So, well, it's something that that allows you to learn really a lot every day. So this is one of the reasons a few reasons why I started with drones.
I love your table there to your side. It looks like you have an oscilloscope, like all the.
Yeah, that's actually the messy table. But during this pandemic lockdown, it's hard to say which one is the messy table right now. So
basically, what we see sometimes in another live with him.
Alessandro, I think we need to reserve. I think we definitely need to reserve some time for these two to show us their tables or their workbenches.
I was going to say we should call back the what was it called again?
Innovation Cribs.
Innovation Cribs. You started again today.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, cool. So shall we have Raffaello introduce himself, even though like I think most people in the chat probably know him because you've been part of the show already. But
Yeah.
you're back.
Anyway, yes, I'm Raffaello. I'm a robotics engineer. I studied in Italy and in robotics, and control theory, to be precise. And I have a PhD in Italy and France about robotics and control theory as well. I worked around the world. Now I'm UK, but before I worked in Japan about autonomous drive. Thank you for my GitHub account. You can see there a lot of my projects. I share more or less the 90% of my project about robotics. There are maybe as well a part of my PhD thesis and other stuff. Yes, I made a robot. I made more than one robot. All my friends maybe are scared of me to see all my robots. One of these, the last is the robot that we will present is Panther. Is an autonomous robot. On this robot, I studied a lot of stuff because the point when I made the robot for myself, not for the university or not for my company, I made a robot to study. And this is sometimes when I go to events, it's really difficult to explain why you made this robot. What is the scope of this robot? Yeah, for me, it's study. And when I will show you my robot, the point is study example, navigation, motor control, 3D mapping, SLAM, and blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, I will spend a day if I will present also.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think actually this is a good introduction to how you guys met and where you started together, right? I think I've got the page in front of me. I think you guys should talk about what you've been doing for the past, I don't know how many years actually, but you've got this really interesting association in Italy that is teaching people about robotics and IoT, and I'd love to give you some space to talk about that.
Yes, if you want, I'm sharing our web page. Maybe you can see. Yes, this is our website. Is Officine Robotiche. It's an Italian association no profit. We do really a lot of stuff. We have a collaboration with schools. We teach robotics for babies, for children, for guys in high school. And it's different because when you speak with a baby, teacher speak about robotics is something different when you have other people that have experience or already work on this environment. And this is fine. We are based in Rome, and in Rome I met Alessio. We met. Yes,
we met in 2014, I guess. It was a maker fair in Rome. It was the auditorium, I guess. Yeah, I think it was something like that. And at the time, I was starting to explore rovers and this other kind of robots. And I met Raffaello and all the other guys of Officine Robotiche. And since then, I started collaborating with them and participating to all the events organized by Officine. Beside the various, I think almost every year we have participated. We participated at the Maker Faire with an Officine Robotiche stand. Beside that, we also in the past we also organized a lot of Officine Robotiche events. So basically, events organized in Rome directly by Officine Robotiche, involving other, let's say, partner and friends. It's okay. The nice thing of this kind of association is that it put together people with a lot of different backgrounds. So in the end, you always learn something new. You always have someone who can support you in the most complex project that you are doing. So it's a very interesting experience. And besides that, there are all great people that it's very nice to meet, and especially during the events or those situations, it's really nice.
Yes, honestly, just to help you during this lockdown, help us really a lot because we are really in touch, more or less we have a meeting, internal meeting every week. We make live in our channel. We are working really hard and we are studying a lot with together. And just to repeat, we are really born online because 90% of the people are not in Rome, are in other city, in Italy. Now we are away. We are in another country.
So Raffaello, real quick, Alessio, if people want to kind of get involved here, what is like your recommended thing for them to do? I mean, like you're saying now, it's not restricted to Italy, right? You're saying, okay, let's go global. If someone that's watching right now wants to get involved, what would you recommend they do? Like, what should they with your org here?
So probably the easiest things is to reach us with the various channels that are listed in the website. There are mostly, probably the principal channel is a Telegram chat, but few Telegram chats actually for several different topics. This is probably the easier channel as it's the channel that is used to update the all the people about news and events and everything that's happening with Officine. The other interesting thing is that, as I said before, we are
the link. Meanwhile, you can share. I forget to share the Telegram link.
No, the other interesting thing is that, okay, now it's a little bit complex because of the pandemic, but in the past we are always participated in events like Maker Faire in Rome. So that's probably one of the biggest chances to meet us and to have a chat live and spend time together, basically. So probably those are.
I was going to say. Sorry, let you know. I was just going to interject and say that maybe this is the right time to go global, and maybe you should update your website and make it also English. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No, actually, the issue is that from a formal point of view, it's not possible to associate people from that are not in Italy right now. I don't know if there is any way to change the kind of association, but from the let's say website and all the stuff, I think it's something that we are going to do pretty soon. So yeah. I agree, Anna.
And just to remember, we have a channel on Telegram that collect a lot of guys around the world. And we are speaking about ROS. It's a channel only about ROS. It's called ROS Dream Team, if I remember well. And we're speaking in particular about a new SLAM, new technique to manage ROS, ROS 2 example. There are some people that are from Spain, a lot of from America. Oh, there is our friends then. I hope you are following us, our best friends then. And because he lives in Texas, he follow really a lot of our project. He started with maybe My Panther and modify, have another version of the robot. I don't remember. Roy maybe is called the robot of them.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, there is another guy, I don't remember, maybe Ben, that is from Australia, that is in our ROS Dream Team, and we are speaking about as well robotics. We are keeping, but in this case, is a little group inside, not really in Officine Robotica because they are not associated right now. I hope will be soon. Honestly, not simple to manage people for the laws, Italian law, to manage people outside the country. But this is another story. Bureaucracy story.
So I think you mentioned a couple of names of robots, right? What I find interesting is that all your robots have got names. I think, most people's robots have got names. So I really want to get to know your robots a bit better. Who should we start with? Should we draw, do we have a way of drawing one of the two?
Roll a dice.
Roll a dice, yeah.
No, I think it would probably be best to start with Alessio.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so
real quick, Alessio, I want to apologize, but I meant to put your GitHub up here as well. So sorry. Keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can also.
No worries. No, as I said, I started a lot of years ago. It was something around 2010, I guess, with the drones. Actually, it was something totally random. As at the time of among my hobbies, there was also photography. And the husband of a girl that was organizing a few things about photography asked me some help about playing with some drone, because he knew I was playing with the electronic stuffs and things like that. And basically, in this way, I just started knowing this new world. Actually, if you give me a second, I can share a picture of probably one of the first things that I made. It's seriously awful. I don't even know how this thing managed to fly. Let me see. Oh, yeah.
Fly, help me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm sharing. Yeah, this awful thing basically was one of the first drone that I made. Honestly, I don't know how much that thing survived. Probably less than a week, because it was the beginning of. Okay, it was at the very beginning of the, let's say, the drone movement. The other issue is that I had no one that was teaching me how to basically pilot this thing. So it was a very incredible steep learning curve at the beginning. Basically each model.
Alessio, can you see me getting closer? I'm trying to see what's on that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what's inside. It looks really interesting. On the bottom, it looks like there's a book.
Alessandro, you don't know.
Actually, this is what's inside.
The battery, I think.
No, it's basically some kind of messy set of board sensor. Oh, the thing that you need to take into account is that at that time there were not that so-called flight controller. Basically, it was mostly a job of putting together sensors that at the time they were not really easy to find. So the most common thing at the time was to retrieve the sensor from the Wii Motion Plus, I guess. Yeah, it was something, some additions to the remote for the Wii, and it contained two gyroscopes. Oh, actually 3 gyroscopes. So that was the most common thing used on those kind of homemade drones. Okay, there is something like this thing is some kind of Arduino Nano. This is the board attached with some kind of gummy stuff to avoid vibrations, and it's a mess actually. It's very ugly.
Alessio, I was going to ask you a question though. So it's interesting, right? Because when was this? What years?
Oh, this was around 2010.
Okay, so 2010, you were saying there wasn't really many flight controllers out there.
Yeah, it was not. There were not really a lot of commercial things. There were the first few, let's say, flight controller starting to appear, but they were really huge, mostly Arduino or anyway Atmel based. So most of them were programmed with the Arduino as well, and probably it was the very beginning of Arduino as well.
Interesting. So can you, for the people that don't know what a flight controller is, can you just explain the step forward?
Basically, a flight controller is some kind of electronic device that includes a microcontroller, a few sensors. The basic thing that you need to have is a set of gyroscopes that allows to, let's say, balance every movement and keep the drone stable. But okay, nowadays there are a lot of integrated IMU devices, so you have both gyroscope, accelerometers, most of the time also magnetometers and barometers. And all those sensors are basically put together with a sensor fusion algorithm to try to understand how the drone is currently, which is the, let's say, the attitude of the drone. And the algorithms within the running within the microcontroller are actually keeping the drone either stable or flat, commanding the various motors that are part of the drone. So basically, a flight controller is the union of a microcontroller and several sensors and a few outputs that are used to control the so-called speed controller, that are devices that directly gives powers to the motors. And now there are
Awesome. So-
obviously a lot of it. Yep,
So no, sorry, I was just going to interject to say. So you used to build before. You used to have to build a flight controller.
Yes, basically
you know, by hand.
it was not so easy to. They were actually not cheap at all. So that was probably one of the first things that I made. Probably between this and the one that I'm going to show shortly, several different tens of drones whose lifetime span probably no more than a couple of days between tests. Oops, sorry. No, this one. Later, I basically evolved a little bit on the construction. So this is something that I made using a CNC. It was the good thing is that it was easy to fold this one, and it was easy to bring in the flying field. So that was one of the main reasons why it's made in this way. This is actually as a proper flight controller. After a few years, I joined probably one of the first open source projects that started using STM32 microcontrollers. It was called OpenPilot. Later, it split in several different projects. One was at the beginning. One was called TauLab, that itself split in an additional project called Dronin. I was actually part of another fork of this project called LibrePilot that is still alive, although there is not a lot of, let's say, activity right now. Basically in both those drones there was also GPS, so they both had autonomous navigation capabilities, basically waypoint, automatic flight, and things like that. Later,
Can you tell us a bit more of how that works? Actually, like the automatic flight. Sorry, using waypoint and stuff like that. Is that?
Basically, it uses also, in addition to the sensors that we have that I talked about before. So beside the accelerometer, gyroscope that are used mainly to establish the attitude of the of the drone. You're actually using a few additional sensors. The most important are actually the magnetometer that is used to understand which is the heading of the drone, a GPS that is used to understand the position of the drone, and a barometer that is used to provide the altitude of the drone. To be more precise, the flight controller itself is not using those sensors directly, but is using some complex sensor fusion algorithm to be able to fuse those information together to have a more accurate information, like using the information coming from accelerometer to have additional information over, let's say, altitude and how the drone is moving. Basically, what happens is that there are several layers of control. So there is at the inner level, there is the algorithm that keeps the drone stable and horizontal. Then there are additional layers of controls that basically try to correct the position of the drone, powering in the right way, trying to provide the right command to the inner control loop to arrive to the designated position. And basically, this happens within the microcontroller that is empowering the drone itself, that is contained within the flight controller. So it's just how can I say? To oversimplify, that is a set of control loops over a set of waypoints that are provided using some software, some ground control software or other, let's say, means. Obviously, there are a lot of other complications because you don't want the drone to abruptly turn once it reach waypoints. So you have to include algorithms that reduce the accelerations and a lot of other, let's say, complexity added on top of this very simple implementation.
So I have a question here. I mean, this doesn't go too much, I think, into the tech itself, but I do appreciate you summarizing all that. So, I mean, I want to look at like the difference between these DIY drones, right? Like, I mean, putting in the effort and, you know, building out the drones like what you're doing versus the consumer drones that are out there now. And I'm hoping maybe you could kind of touch on like maybe the excitement and also the work that's put into building one of these drones. So what are the things that people need to know? I mean, maybe on a low level, if someone's watching this and says, wow, you know, that's really cool. Alessio built this drone. I want to do that too. What are the things that they need to go through to kind of do that maybe on a simpler way? Because I know you built some of your own hardware and all that kind of stuff. What can someone do to do that? And if they're just a drone enthusiast, maybe they should just buy one. But I think I'd lean towards building their own.
I mean, I think that building something is quite easy right now because there are a lot of more or less standardized products, so it's quite easy to make something. The thing is that anyway, a drone is something that may crash or you have to, let's say, repair in some way. So it's probably better to be able to, let's say, understand how to replace a part of of your drone and actually be able to source the part that you are going to replace. As a suggestion is probably a suggestion maybe the one to try to stitch some existing configuration that you can find in the various let's say forum and Facebook groups or things like that, instead of trying to, let's say, reinvent the wheel and possibly selecting a configuration of motors, propellers, other things that does not really match together. So probably the suggestion is to try to take as an example something that works and do not deviate too much from that, at least until you get some confidence and start to understand how the various part works and what you really want to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that you're right. There are a lot of standardized parts out there, and also not only that, I think, you know, visiting people's GitHubs, like your GitHub or Raffaello's GitHub, other people out there. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who have already built stuff that you can kind of maybe follow those instructions and you know, streamline a lot of the work that's already been done. So yeah, that's awesome.
And the other interesting
Rex likes robots. Yeah.
The other interesting thing I was going to add is the fact that there are also a lot of communities, right? You mentioned a couple of communities that you were working with in the past. And then
yes,
before you mentioned that actually now you're looking at newer communities, or not newer, but like different communities. There's a lot of drone communities out there that can enable you to get started quickly, right?
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, it was a couple of years that I was not doing almost anything drone related. So recently I started looking at a few other projects. Right now I was actually trying PX4. Actually, I just ported, I've made some kind of minimal porting of PX4 in one of the various flight controllers that I had already and I was trying to play with that because the most interesting part of PX4 is that there are a lot of let's say integration with ROS, for example, a lot of different simulator and several let's say software in the loop and hardware in the loop capabilities that are really interesting for drones, because you can easily set up every kind of situation that you want to test and play with it without even having a physical device to use. So it's a lot very practical, and it's speeds up a lot every kind of development.
And that's a really interesting point, right? Because I think, so I started playing with robots. I never got into it too far, but I started playing with some of the robots, like the little ones, you know, the 2-wheeled robots, a while back, maybe 10 years ago, or maybe less than that. But it was interesting because you had to like literally, it was really like physical computing, right? You had to like write code and then you had to run it on the device, and there was always something that didn't work, right? It's like, oh, the wire is not connected. Oh, this is not working, or whatever. So it was always like the loop was quite long, right? It would take a long time to actually get stuff working. Where I feel like now we're kind of going into this world where there's a lot more stuff that can be simulated that actually can speed up the development quite a lot, right? Because you only have to test the software once it's ready, rather than like testing it every change you make, right?
Yes, although there are several things that you need to try on the real hardware, like let's say there are a few things that may not be exactly simulated, like let's say how something behave on a certain kind of sensor because of noise and a lot of other let's say variables that are not exactly simulated in the simulator itself. But actually, there are right now is almost possible to simulate almost everything. Probably just the low-level stuffs are a little bit more annoying to be simulated. Yeah, I agree. Simulation are awesome.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is that you know, I think robots, you could play with a robot in your house, in your office. It's fairly easy. Where I think drones are more complex, right? Because especially, I think in an office environment, you can't really fly drones around, right? Like, I think
that would be annoying.
There's also a lot of laws around.
If you see the takeoff of the rocket today from Mars, in the end we see the simulation. We see the telemetry like simulation of the rocket to Mars. Example is really awesome. Just to share something.
I would be okay with drones flying around the house and the office if it's big enough and I don't want to walk to you. I'll just be like, hey, take this over to Alessandro on the other side of the office.
Well, I mean, they are not exactly safe too.
They're not exactly safe, and also Cambridge to San Diego is a bit far, Robert.
Yeah, crashes into Louise on the way. Call out to Louise.
Cool. So awesome. I'll pull up your slides, Alessio, if you wanted to share the other stuff that you had. I don't know if you've got anything else.
Okay. The other thing that I was playing also recently is it's called this specific car is called Jet Racer, and it's running a software that is another open source project, a very nice open source project that is called Donkey Car. Actually, here I have the real thing. So basically, this is some kind of very small radio controller car that is employing a Jetson Nano in this case, and it's using a camera and basically this software that includes a little bit of AI. Actually, you can implement whatever you want. The basic aim of this thing is to create some kind of very small self-control, a very small self-controlled car. So this car can basically race on a track on itself. Okay, this is just a zoom view. This was actually the path that I created to be able to test this at home. Not exactly practical, but well.
You win.
It worked.
I'm honest.
And this is actually actually we played with them at the Maker Faire last year. This was actually a camera put on top of the race car that was driving autonomously along this path. Well, it's really interesting because the base configuration is just using a camera, and with training is able to basically run like this out of the box. But the interesting thing is that this Donkey Car is actually quite nice Python framework that allows you to easily create additional pieces that allows you to, let's say, handle new sensors, handles additional, handles the camera in a different way, implement different let's say, AI network within the machine. So basically, you have the total freedom to implement only the things that you actually need, the custom parts. Everything else that is used to, let's say, control the motor, steering the wheels, also acquire the images from the camera. Everything is already in place, so you just have to personalize, customize the little part that you want to implement in your car. So it's very interesting to be able to do something very nice in very little time. It's also in this case the community is really nice. So it's this is another reason why it's so easy to get started with this project. I think there was some. Oh yeah, this was another video of the car running. Probably this was the first time we were able to run on this track, because there were a lot of light that were continuously changing. Yeah, so it was. No reason.
Our friends that made the racer. Luckily, now we are talking about there is a friend called Giovanni that during the night before at 3-4 a.m. we finished to train the jet racer for the day after for the Maker Faire. You don't have idea. We were wasted to prepare this demo for the day after.
Yes, because the biggest issue was that you have to do the training on the very same track, on the very same places, because it's very okay. At least in the for the lucky people that lives near Auckland, they actually do, as Luis Paul is saying, they do meet up, and so they are able to also play with them live. That's actually a very, very interesting. I would like to participate in something like that sooner or later.
I wanted to say, awesome. Wait, let me put it up. There you go.
I think Raffaello is getting a little antsy. He wants to show his demo.
Oh yeah, sure.
I was just gonna say.
The best
before that, I was just gonna say that I remember Raffaello texting me on the day of the Maker Faire saying, "I'm coming late because I didn't sleep last night because I was building the jet racer until like 4 o'clock in the morning." So I can guarantee that happened.
That was the reason.
Likely, slept.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that was the whole reason too.
Well, what part of the reason?
Part of the reason. Yeah. Anyways,
change topic.
Okay. Go ahead.
But also, I was gonna say before the lockdown, actually, Alessio and Raffaello, we talked about doing some DIY Robocar in England, but actually we never got around it because of the of the lockdown. I mean, I guess you're the only one that actually did something, Alessio. You actually kind of worked on it. I ended up like being sidetracked completely.
Yeah, exactly. No, the real problem is having the space to be able to, let's say, try this. It's also a matter of space. But yeah, I think it's something that will worth trying after, as soon as we can, actually.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So, Raffaello, I think it's on to you. And in the meantime, I'm going to just share a question from the audience.
Yes, I mean, while I was writing,
everyone wants to know where you got those.
Oh, this is really serious. I won't go a day to speak with my manager. With this and then we'll be fighting 1 second.
Maybe less.
We'll fight with
I think on the next show that you come in, we all have to have those glasses on.
Yeah.
I'm getting on Amazon right now.
No, 3D printer.
Oh,
you can print them.
I don't. I'm trying to buy one.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, that's way better. I'm actually in the market for a Prusa, so I'll hopefully be buying one within the next month or so.
The Prusa, I like it. I have another 3D printer, but I have a friend. Yes, it's the same, Giovanni. That Joe can be like, "Oh, nice, amazing Prusa."
Yeah. Well,
yes, the quality of the Prusa is really good.
Yeah.
David also wants a pair.
Yeah, we'll have to do a giveaway, Alessandro and Carl.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't see, but on the other side of the camera of Alessio upgraded the camera and is silent. I've made a 3D printer silent. You don't think
Actually, I just boxed it.
I just
Guys, not sure how easy it is to look at it, but it's just a box, and it's really amazing. You don't have to.
Silent. From my side, doesn't match. For Alessio, wow, impression.
Yeah, it was
Raffaello,
too near
let's
to
go.
me, so I had to do something.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, Raffaello, we've got about slightly more than 15 minutes. So I'd say let's dive into your demo.
Okay, fine. Where do we want to start? Directly from the robot? Yes, maybe. And after I will.
I think Raffaello, because I got to see a sneak peek before the show. I think the best thing to do is if you could show us the robot first physically,
Yes.
explain the components, the parts that went into it, then dive into the software, and then have it run. I think that's
Okay. We have this live is 3 days, right?
All right, we're gonna make you
Got to
big
take
here.
the robot. There
Yeah,
we go.
this is Panther, my little baby. Is completely homemade. Means I didn't really made the robot because some part I use a laser cut. Example, all plastic parts. Other parts are with a 3D printer. I use the beans are from I don't remember the Maker Bean. We can see the brain of the robot is a Jetson EGX Xavier. Stereolabs Z2. Hold on, there are reflection. Okay, we can see a LiDAR on top. This is where I spend a lot of time for the truck. To design the truck, I spent time. We can see the LEDs. And what we can see as well, there are some other layers where there is the motor control. We can see the speaker because the robot can interact with people. Not now. Next time, next live. There are other stuff that I don't remember. We can see the motors are really heavy. We are speaking about 11 kilos of robot. Is huge. It made me tired after a lot of time to bring this robot. Other stuff. This is ROS-based. This robot is ROS-based. We can see now a short live of that. I use the high level is the NVIDIA Jetson. Low level, I have some tendency to manage motors. Not motors, sorry. Hold on, I'm tired. Motors. Meanwhile, I can show you before to run the demo. My screen. We can see the 3D parts of the robot. My project. Maybe for me is better. Oh, thank you. Okay. This is the robot. I was speaking before about the stereo camera, the Z stereo camera. This is the LiDAR. This is my old version. We can see the old TX2. Now with Xavier is another word. The time that I spent to design the truck, well, you don't have idea the time that I spent because I'm a control engineer. I'm not a mechanic engineer. And for me, it's something that require a lot of time to study. I made mistake. I updated the robot.
Do you have your own laser cutter?
No.
Okay.
I sell to a company to print for me. It was impossible. I made this robot 5 years ago. It was the 2015. I was writing my PhD thesis. And
So, Raffaello, what is this software? iShotJR is asking from the audience.
Yes, this software I used SolidWorks time ago, and this is GrabCAD. Is a web website. You can load your project. If you see, this is the SolidWorks file. I have seen as well other projects. Honestly, I want to move from SolidWorks to or AutoCAD Fusion or maybe Onshape. I'm investigating which is the best. When I speak with other friends on of teaching robotics, start a flame. Oh no, it's better this, it's better that, and then
A
start
religion war.
with the best way. Because SolidWorks is fine, but now I prefer another project, another software. Sorry. This is to reply for the question, and this is the system. Other, yes, maybe I can go to the demo. Yes, in the beginning I used it for the motor controller this board because we don't have enough time, but I use this board. This is the called Micronav. But Alessio, show you the new version.
Actually, we are trying to upgrade to a STM32 based version.
Yes, another word, another story.
Oops.
Show again. Wow.
Yeah, we need to do.
Basically,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's basically a board with integrated microcontroller, and there are also the motor driver integrated in this board. This is actually, let's say, the first prototype, so it was good to have the driver directly on board. But basically, we are migrating the old design on based on PIC. I don't remember which kind of PIC to STM32 because it's a lot easier to work with that.
Yeah, this is the your
Yeah, this one.
website.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it and we're gonna need to do another episode on this, I think, to dissect the hardware even further, because now we're looking at kind of the superficial layer. Then let's dive down into the
Yes. This is the reason that I was joking, but really need days, because when you design a robot, you spend time only to know which is the best position of the screw of the robot.
You know what? Maybe we do a 24-hour marathon fundraiser where Raffaello and Alessio dissect every component of this robot.
Yes.
While several 3D printers are running in the background building things.
Yeah.
So, glasses for the people who donate. Yeah.
Raffaello, careful.
Innovation coffee.
Yeah.
Raffaello, careful what you wish for. Awesome. So one question from the audience before we move to the actual demo.
Yeah.
So I shot JR is asking, how much battery are we working with?
I don't know right now because I changed example the board, but I used last time was 3-4 hours working time. Yes. Now using a 6 cell, 5 ampere per hour, LiPo battery. Hold on, maybe we can see. Okay. No, yeah. There is the battery here, the status right now, and the power consumption that I'm working. I'm working to manage the performance of the Jetson, because when you are not use the Jetson, use a lot of power, and it's important to manage in this case. Maybe someone know my project called the Jetson Stat. Is a project that you can manage the monitoring the board, and I integrated with ROS, and this is one of the point that I love is manage directly the status of the board, manage the performance. Now I'm updating my robot because during a lot of demo, I always use all motors, waking up, all sensor. Now I'm managing and balancing the status of the robot, because it's really important when you have a maker faire or a really long events, and you have a few moments that the robot is an ornament, a beautiful ornament on the table. You don't want to switch off. You want to manage the battery in this case and switch on again during the rest of the day.
So, Raffaello, could you show us? Because it's quite interesting. So you built this. You were telling me earlier that you built this tool that enables you to look at the stats of your board, basically,
I can
the
share
NVIDIA, right?
One moment, live.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because you were telling me how much you've got.
We are now inside the robot, and this is the terminal that I made. In this case, we can see the status of the robot, the Jetson, GPU, CPU. We can change the status. Example, I can move to 5 watt consumption. In this case, now all Jetson change the performance. Use only 4 cores. We can see which core are working. Example, we have 3 ARM V8 at work. Change the frequency. This is really useful not only for my robot, but in particular for drones or all other stuff with batteries. Other information, yes, is the status of the memory. Now is always fine because I disable ROS. I will switch up soon. And that's all. It's simple but important. This is the point. Because manage the power.
And you were telling me earlier that you're getting about 2,000 downloads a week on this.
Yes,
on
this
tool,
week
right?
I released the last version. Yes, usually my average is 1,300, but this week is more than 2,000. It's 2,500 downloads.
That's amazing. I mean, it's just amazing to see how many people are, using
I'm
this, right?
impressed because I made for myself. I follow the hint from Alessio because Alessio told me 1 year ago it was a simple script in Python, and Alessio told me, why you don't change and move on a Python package? It's simple to release for the people, and pam, all people start to use my my node, and I always spend a lot of time. Yes, oh wow, hi Settore Zero, hi Gianni. Yes.
I think that you need a lot of beers.
No, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. So 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes. We got to see this robot run.
Yes, sure. Okay, I move to the robot. I switch on the robot.
Are you going to put your phone back on again so that?
Yes.
Oh,
Sure.
okay, cool.
While 1 moment, I stop again the live and change the screen. Give me a while.
Alessandro, people are really digging this 24-hour marathon idea.
I know, eh? I'm starting to get scared here. I mean, if too many people tell us, we must.
I know we have to.
We will have to do it, right? It's like.
I think it would be fun though. Like, we'll be dead by the end. Have some 3D printers behind us printing the Raffaello glasses, and so every time we get a donation, we just start up a new print and then send it out.
I mean, I think it would be super fun. Actually, I think we could we could cover different time zones with us already, right? So I think we could figure it out as like
you drink beer in the first half, I drink beer in the second half with Carl. Carl and me are cheersing.
That's fair.
We'll share again the screen.
we just need someone in Asia. If we get someone in Asia, I think we could do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can cover pretty much.
I have we can see now the new screen. Okay.
Oh, here, let's bring that up. Right there you go.
This is the robot. Okay, we can see in the beginning the map. My robot. Give me a while and I connect my phone. Okay. Wow, slowly, but look like works.
Here, let's remove us from this and let's just bring him in. The drone.
Okay, let's do that. Let's remove ourselves.
Do you know how to do that, Alessandro? Oh. Yeah.
Okay. Live, but we can see live a map making. Oh, okay. And sometimes it's not an ornament, this robot.
Raffaello, can you just explain what's happening? Because on the left we see your robot, on the right we see something else. So if you could just explain what's going on.
In this case, we are looking. The robot used the LiDAR to make the map, and as well the stereo camera. In fact, 1 moment. Okay, we can see here the 3D map. Using a Kalman filter to localize the robot on the map because I read the information from the motors, I read information from the LiDAR, the visual odometry from the stereo camera, and that's all for the localization. When the robot is localized, I make a map, the map that we are looking right now, and okay, I move another big robot. If we see the robot is always on the same position. This is good because the localization is working fine. We are literally inside what the robot see. Maybe I can move here, but we can see little vibration. This vibration are the noise from the filter, from the localization in this case. Oh, okay. Okay, we can see something else. I don't know if I missed something. If you have questions, ask me, because sometimes I think I explain it really well, but I need an engineering brain right now. Okay. Works. Yes, yeah, it's lost because I changed the map. In this case, I know the reason. Okay, we need okay, quite a time, because what is work? I'm using SLAM to localize the robot. I use AirTab map. We are on ROS. This is the interface called RVITS. To localize, I told you, yes, RVITS. AirTab map. I forget something, Alessio.
Now I was reading the comment from Settore Zero.
No, remove this comment. Remove it. I tell him Piero Laplano. You know.
Is that? I mean, but it might be interesting to see if you've got any dead robots. if your robot can see your dead robots and what happens there.
Hold on, we can go meanwhile here.
Also, I mean, so this is a belt run robot, right? So I'm pretty sure your ground, it sounds like it's like a hardwood floor or tile. It would probably run better on, I don't know, sand or maybe something like grass,
it's made
right?
for sand, exactly.
Yeah.
It's made for sand or high grass. In this case, the robot works well. In this case, a lot of vibration for me is an issue. It's really an issue because in the same time, the camera, when start to make a map, have all this noise, and we can see, in particular here, this is the noise made from the vibration of the motors.
So that noise is happening because it's running on that ground, right? Like it's shaking on the ground.
There is the vibration of the robot plus. In this case, my room is completely white, in particular the roof. And this is the noise that we see here. Let me take back the robot.
You need an assistant over there so that someone can hold your phone and show the...
Okay.
A robotic camera.
Works, maybe yes. Okay, much better. Okay, this is the rest of the part of the map. This is the noise. Yeah, hold on. There is not a lot of noise. It's only the problem of AirTab map in this case. But the localization works well, and we can see from the map because this map is fine. Alessio can suggest something if you want. And don't poke me.
Nope.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. So I guess what's interesting is you've managed to not only map the environment, but also understand where you are in the environment, right? And
yes.
And you managed to, I mean, now you're back in the same spot where you passed on before, right? Is there a way to check whether that's actually, like, have you actually closed the loop now? Or is it, how would you check?
We can see because AirTab map have another tool to check if the robot literally closed the loop when it's localized.
That's the interesting thing, right? It looks like you've just closed the loop now.
Yes,
but
it's closed. The robot sometimes try to close this loop. Now it looks like stable. This is the path that the robot follow. There are this yellow line are the line when the AirTab map believe maybe there is a connection, but it's not true. In this case, the quality of the map is high, honestly, because we don't see a lot of yellow lines, and the path look like well made. In fact, the quality of the map, this gray map, is good. This is only noise, but I think if I remove this noise and clean the map, will be nice to see. Maybe I will try to do that. I'm here.
Oh yeah, there you are.
I was recorded from the robot.
So how did you gather? Is this data gathered from the LiDAR, or is this the camera,
this is from
or is
the
it a combination?
This is this point cloud is from the stereo camera.
Okay.
The point that we see from the LiDAR, I use the LiDAR right now only for the localization. I improve the localization because in this case, we see a lot of vibration of the robot. And when the robot turns really fast, the stereo camera can't recognize quickly where the robot is. In this case, I use the LiDAR because I have a 360 degree to position. And the quality of the map is always really high in this case for my type of the robot, because depends of the robot. There are drones, or if you move slowly, or if you have a good board. In this case, maybe I can improve the quality because this board is really useful for me. But yes, the LiDAR is these red points.
I see. Okay.
Oops, sorry. Yes, there are these points. Other information. Hold on. Maybe there is the. Yes, this is the information. The odometry. In this case, I use more or less only the odometry from the camera, from the stereo camera, the visual odometry, and the Kalman filter use. Yes. So I'm remembering now that maybe I'm not using an IMU, because I have as well an IMU, and I changed the stereo camera from the Z1 with the Z2, and the Z2 I've included an IMU, and I was integrating because during the lockdown, in the previous live that we made, I was starting to switch from the TX2 with a Xavier, upgrading from ROS Kinetic to Melodic, and last 1 month ago I was improving just to start. I stop again to my robot, and I think after holidays I will work again and I will merge with the whole IMU to improve the quality of the robot navigation.
So I think the problem is you make too many changes and you work too much on your robot.
Yes. Because I told you in the beginning, when I work, this is a study robot. It's not only. I don't sell with anyone. For me, it's a perfect base to study something new.
No, that's actually awesome. Just one last question, I think, before we close.
Yes, it's a
so David.
RP leader. Yes, it's true. I'm using a RP leader. RP LiDAR. Sorry.
Is this the Stereo Labs one or no?
This is the LiDAR. No, the stereo camera is the Stereo Labs. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. My bad.
Yes, it's true anyway. Yes, Stereo Labs Z2 and RP LiDAR from Slamtech. RP LiDAR. Using now an IMU. I'm changing because I was using a riser. Now there is a riser disabled because I noticed here is disabled from the filter. And then changing. Alessio, what is that?
The Bosch BA.
Yeah, the Bosch. Yeah, this
something.
is the new IMU coming. But now I will do after holidays. Honestly, I need a break from my spare time jobs.
Just one last thing I wanted to say to everyone. All this is on your GitHub, correct?
Yes, all project is on GitHub. All this code that is running, you can find. This is the organization of my robot. I collect all information, all repository of my robot. There is as well a simulation. If you want to simulate with Gazebo, my robot, you can run a simulation of my robot on Gazebo, and you can do the same stuff. If you want to set up on your Jetson, example OpenCV, reinstall RTAB map, because usually when you install RTAB map works without GPU, you need to compile from scratch for GPU. There is a different script script to manage. Now I was and I will upgrade with autonomous navigation because I want to use as well. I don't think maybe works and that will require more time for my old navigation planning made during my PhD. I hope it will work again. I think I will need to recompile, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's plenty of stuff to talk about in the 24-hour hackathon or
yes, exactly.
Innovation Coffee.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Coffee, beer,
Carl, what do you think? What time do you want for your slot?
No. We have to be, us three have to be on for the whole 24 hours.
Right.
That's the point.
24
We start off
marathon.
fresh.
Yes.
Yes. The guests get the 1 or 2 hour slots. We have to be there the
Exactly.
full 24 hours. Yeah. So get ready.
It's innovation like triple coffee or something. That's what we should call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coffee.
Innovation,
It's a lot of
whiskey, and coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what about
Or
innovation
something to do.
24-hour coffee?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. And
Anyways.
you're lucky. You're lucky they didn't call for a 24/7 innovation coffee. It'll kill us.
Don't give him any advice.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyways, guys, it was really awesome to have you again on the show, Raffaello, and have you, Alessio, as well. It was really good to see what you're working on, and I think it's always fun to see robots actually doing SLAM in action, right? Like it's always interesting. And next time, I want to see a simulation from Alessio for his drones, if you've got that, because I think that's quite fun actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's we haven't seen a robot simulation yet, or drone simulation. So really, really cool to have you all on the show. And do you have any closing thoughts, Raffaello and Alessio?
Go ahead, Alessio.
I think we talked quite too much.
Hold on, if you want, we can make another live because usually we have our live in Officine Robotica. It's in Italian right now, but maybe we can change another in English.
Yeah, I'll share actually. Where is it? I'm going to share the Officine Robotiche. Where did I put it?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. So this is the.
Yeah, this is Telegram, but maybe you can share as well our YouTube channel if this is better. Hold on, but it's in Italian anyway. Sharing.
Have you posted
But
in the private chat?
you can find more information on the website, correct?
Yes, exactly. On the website is better. It's in Italian, but we can find as
Awesome.
well. Oh, hold on, we can. You can write me on Twitter, and we can share in private channel or our Telegram group, English Telegram group. Maybe it's better. We can speak with us there.
On that note, Raffaello, please consider bringing your community to a channel on the DevEco Discord server. I know that you're there.
Yeah,
We'd
yes.
love to create a channel for you. You'd get the ownership and
I know.
bring your community in. Yeah.
Alessio, but you're already there, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm there as well.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
cool. All right, cool.
Yes, yes,
Awesome.
exactly. Yes, there is better. There is better.
DevEco.
Awesome. DevEco is down there. We'll get you guys talking on there. If anyone wants to talk to Raffaello and Alessio, you can speak on there. You can find out more about the glasses as well. Awesome. And one last thing I wanted to close with is actually the fact that we've launched Dev Summit. It's a big developer event in October, and it's really awesome. I found out really a couple of weeks ago actually that both the ROS community will be there, Open Robotics will be there, and PX4 will be there. So if you're a fan of robots and drones, there's a lot of people that are going to be there. There's a lot of networking sessions that we're planning, and sign up. It's free. Cool. So Robert, Carl, do you got any last thoughts?
Carl?
I don't think so. I always love seeing robots in action.
You're
That's what
waiting
got
the
me into
24-hour
programming in the first
hackathon.
place.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Anytime we can have more robots, that's always better.
yeah. And as always, I think for me, it's just thank you for you, Alessio, Raffaello, for joining us. Thank you for the wonderful co-hosts, Alessandro and Carl, and thank you everyone on YouTube and Twitter who watched. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for all that are following us. I won't be again here.
Cheers.
Man.
Cheers.
All right.
You need a proper mic next time.
My coffee's too cold now, so I'm
I
gonna
want
do
to.
Mine is finished.
Yeah, mine as
Thank
well.
you so much. Thank you,
All right.
everyone, and see you next week.
that. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.